What's up everybody, we are back again with another series of raid guides. And today we're taking a look at the first encounter Champion of the Light in Battle of Dazar'Alor. So I'll be going over all the mechanics, how they work, and then our overall strat for this fight. I just want to start off by saying this encounter is the exact same for both the Horde and the Alliance, nothing changes mechanically. So during this encounter you'll be facing off against one boss and a couple of adds. There's two different phases that the boss alternates between. One phase where you nuke boss and ignore adds, and one phase where you ignore the boss and kill some adds, the Retribution phase and the Reckoning phase. So let's take a look at the overall abilities. You have Sacred Blade, stacking dot on the tank, 10 sec duration, applies every 6 seconds or so. You can swap around at 5 or 6 stacks, or just swap after every ad pack is dead. And we also have Wave of Light. It's a slow moving wave of light. It's directed at a random ad, deals damage to any one hit, and applies a healing over time to the adds if it hits them. The heal over time is 5% of their maximum HP healed every 1 second for 7 seconds, and the boss uses this wave like every 10 seconds or so quite frequently. You can dispel the hot if it gets on them, but you don't need to care about this wave on normal or heroic during the Retribution phase when you nuke the boss. It doesn't matter at all. However, you want to avoid getting this on the ad during the Reckoning phase. However, if it happens, as I said, you can dispel it. Every now and then the boss will use Divine Protection on an ad. It just bubbles them, makes them immune for 6 seconds, just ignore that target and hit something else. And Zealotry increases holy damage done by 2% per stack. Stacks are applied by certain abilities, but I will go over this in a bit. And Avenging Wrath. Wouldn't be a paladin without it. Boss deals 30% more damage when below 30% HP, so it's a bit of a burn phase. And as I mentioned, there's also a couple of ads up. You have the Anointed Disciple. It's a caster ad, uses Divine Burst, it just targets a random member, deals a bit of damage, interruptible. Penance heals a friendly target, interrupt every cast during Reckoning phase. And heals a friendly target for a large amount, interrupt every cast during Reckoning. And the Darkforged Crusader. It uses Consecration, does damage to anyone standing in it, but it also reduces damage taken by all enemies, so the adds the boss standing in it by 50%. So as soon as one drops, you want to get the adds out of him. Will be lots of running. You can use grips and knockbacks to get him out. The Crusader also uses Blinding Faith, an AoE disorient to anyone facing the Crusader when the cast goes off. Just like any other blind we know and love, when the ad cast is, just make sure to face your character away from it. And Crusader Strike, melee attack that deals heavy holy damage, only hits the ad tank, so not much to it. And to the main mechanic of the fight, the boss also uses seals during the fight, swapping between Seal of Retribution and Reckoning. First out is always Seal of Retribution. Whenever an ad dies during this seal, the boss gains 20 stacks of Zealotry. And as I mentioned earlier, this increases the boss's holy damage done by 2% per stack, so a 40% damage increase as soon as an ad dies during this seal. It also grants the Retribution wave ability. It's just raid-wide holy damage, it's unavoidable, so not much to it. It increases damage and healing done by nearby allies by 15%, and finally, she will use Judgment Righteousness. So as she reaches full energy, she will buff one ad to deal 200% increased damage and 150% increased healing. And after this, Seal of Reckoning will start, so you want to start off by killing the very big buffed ad. So let's take a look at Seal of Reckoning. All attacks taken by the boss grants 1 stack of Zealotry, the 2% holy damage buff. Players affected by Sacred Blade, the tank dot, do not generate stacks, so whichever tank is currently tanking. Also grants Reckoning. Targeted ability deals some holy damage, and Judgment Reckoning. Upon reaching 100 energy, she releases a heavy AoE on the entire raid. This one hits increasingly harder as the fight progresses due to Zealotry stacks and in the end, Avenging Wrath. So with that said, how do we deal with all of this? Well, we tank the boss on one side of the room and the other adds on the opposite side. This is due to a number of reasons. First one is keeping the boss and adds apart, prevents Retribution from buffing the adds. That's the 15% damage and healing increase. It also prevents the boss from ever standing in Consecration, the 50% damage reduction, and allows plenty of space to let the adds dodge Wave of Light, which is the hot 5% HP per sec. Our ranged and healers were lightly stacked to the side, so they never needed to care about the wave or the blind. After this, the fight is simply a rotation between the two seals, and during the seals you either nuke the boss or the adds. And as I previously mentioned, it always starts with Retribution, and during this you want to focus focus all your DPS on the boss and completely ignore the ads. You can multi-dot if it gives you more single target damage, otherwise just tunnel the boss. After a bit, the boss will use its judgment and power one of the ads and the Seal of Reckoning phase begins. During Reckoning, make sure to focus all DPS on the ads. Don't touch the boss unless you're tanking it, not even a dot. Once all the ads are dead, the boss will do a raid-wide AoE and Reckoning ends and Retribution starts once again. Just a friendly reminder, there's a slight delay from when the ads die and when Retribution begins. Don't touch the boss until Retribution actually starts, even if all the ads are dead. The boss will still get Zealotry stacks, which ramps up the damage like crazy, so wait a few seconds and then go ham. And when Retribution starts again, the boss will spawn 3 new ads, 1 Crusader, 2 Disciples, and it's rinse and repeat at this point. At 30%, the boss will use Avenging Wrath, which just means everything hurts a bit more. And for you tanks out there, as I said, you can swap at around 6 stacks or so, but if you can survive a bit more, it's just a lot easier to tank swap after the ads are dead. You can also have 1 tank on the boss at all time, and that tank kites the boss a bit during longer casts to drop the stack, so choices. Other than that, there's not much to it. Healers, be ready for Judgment of Reckoning AoE. It does ramp up with Zealotry stacks and Avenging Wrath, and the tanks will take quite a bit of punishment. And I think that pretty much covers everything. If you have any questions at all, make sure to hit me up in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my Patreon if you'd like to support my work. And as always, if you like these kind of videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave me a like, and ring that notification bell. Thanks for watching everyone, and I will see you next time.